Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Inside Wfisd Athletics, brought to you here from the KFDX Plus studio at Channel 3 here in town. My name is MJ Baird. I'm the sports reporter here at Channel 3, alongside the man I'm always with on this podcast, Mr. Chad Johnson. And as you saw from the top, that wide shot, we've got a special guest today, the Times Record News sports reporter, Jonathan Hull.
Oh, I thought it was Captain America.
Not quite. Not quite.
He put on some weight.
What's going on? How are you, Jonathan?
I'm good. You know, I'm glad to be back on this thing. Little different without that tall redheaded feller, but
redhead. I don't think he has hair.
Red beard,
red bearded feller. Yeah.
The aforementioned Grant Freeman, yes.
Yes, yeah.
So we've kind of branched out into our secondary podcast here. It's not secondary; it's our second podcast. We still got the Free for All with Coach Free over on the at Free for All _pod on YouTube. But here we are on the WFISD Athletics podcast, and this is where we talk all things Wichita Falls Independent School District.
Okay.
I wore the hat for this reason.
Yeah.
Chad, what's
He's
new with
not
you?
wearing it backwards.
Not today. Chad, what's new with you?
Man, not a lot. Not a lot. As we record on Wednesday, yesterday was not a busy sports day. I mean, Gundy gets fired, Rangers eliminated. It's a good day for me.
I mean, all the things you care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an average Tuesday for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go any further, let me thank our sponsor here on the free-for-all. On Inside WFISD Athletics, we want to thank Macaulay Landscapes, proudly serving Wichita Falls. For 21 years, their services include lawn maintenance, landscaping, irrigation repair, and so much more. Visit them online, MacaulayLandscapes.com, for more information on how they can help you with your lawn care and landscaping needs. Inside WFISD Athletics relies on Macaulay Landscapes, and you should too.
They literally rely on them because, as Coach Dorsey said last week, Patrick takes care of her yard.
Perfect. It's exactly what we like to hear. No complaints either.
Yes.
I can't see it because it's not on the camera shot, but Chad, first time ever that we have had a guest on this podcast who elected to bring donuts.
I was going to say, no offense to Coaches Davis, Bindle, Dorsey, and Barnett, but Jonathan brought donuts.
Fat man's always thinking food.
Are we going to feast on those afterwards? What do we got?
Let's get at it. I got some chocolate, some glazed in there. It's Circle M.
Yummy. Fantastic.
Circle. I think it's the best donut in town, personally.
Okay. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Is there a bad donut?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
I mean, I've had a bad donut. It's density and things like. I mean, you can have a bad donut.
You ever made your own donuts with a can of cheap biscuits?
I haven't. My dad tells me all the time, well, that's how we made donuts back in the day. You didn't have donut shops once upon a time. And, you had to
cheap biscuits and some powdered sugar.
Fry them up and go after it.
I'll tell you where you get a bad donut. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Dunkin' Donuts. I'm a Dunkin' loyalist.
Okay.
I mean, literally, I go multiple times per week for coffee.
Here's my problem with Dunkin' Donuts.
You don't like their donuts.
I love Dunkin' Donuts. Here's my problem with Dunkin' Donuts. They don't ever have any donuts.
Well, that's the thing. I think they're like shipped in, and then if they expire the 48-hour rule, they have to go in the trash.
Yeah, they're not fresh per se.
No.
But I do love their chocolate cake donuts and their munchkins. But like I say, you go in there and they're out of donuts most of the time.
I've never been sad about a Dunkin' Donut. Like they're fine. I don't think they're just phenomenal donuts. Like Krispy Kreme is definitely a lot better.
I've never been a Krispy Kreme fan.
Ooh, a fresh Krispy Kreme donut right off the grill. Like as you walk in, they give you that free one. Oh, I don't know that you can beat that.
I do like Shipley's donuts.
Shipley's is good. I will say in town though, I'm a Circle M guy. Local.
Yeah.
And been around for a long time, and I think that is the donut in town.
I love it.
Raspberry with the raspberry filling with the cream cheese frosting. Fat man loves it.
Wow. See, I could literally delete probably half dozen chocolate frosteds.
Yeah.
Just put them down.
I would like to see that. There's 4 in that box right there. So I think that's a podcast thing.
MJ eating competition.
I think they could be deleted, no problem.
I mean, I know after speaking a couple of weeks ago, we need to get Parker on an eating competition.
And why do you say that? Because he's like 6'4" and
well, I'm just talking
monster?
about eating when we went to Willie's for lunch the other day.
Oh.
He tried they gave him just a little dab of that hot sauce that he uses on
Willie,
a Ghost Burger.
Yeah.
or not his ghost burger. What's it? His psycho burger.
Yeah.
And he gave him just a little dab of it, and I think Parker was feeling it for a couple of days.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
24 hours plus.
I love Willie's, but yeah, that I don't do the hot stuff, man, like that. You know, I see you got the hot ones back here, and I love.
You can see it. I guess you can't.
Yeah, you can't quite.
Right over
Yeah, I've
here.
got it's on top of the donuts right now, but
Okay.
I love hot ones. I watch hot ones. I watch every episode. But
Oh, you ready for this? Hold on.
yeah.
Let me see if I can get. This is on the fly here, but I'm going to use the camera that normally someone would be sitting at. Hey,
There's
There
the
they are.
hot ones.
The donuts
yes.
even have a microphone.
That's right. Donuts underneath it.
can we zoom in? Can you move that
can.
microphone, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Look, see, there are the
we
donuts,
go.
Jonathan. And Ben
That's
Coker.
right.
That is not Ben Coker. Let me get rid of his lower third. You can see.
Hey, you could leave that up. We
Yeah.
could. Gordon Ramsay would probably call Ben Coker a donut.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what Jonathan was so nice to bring in today is those donuts. And I'm not going to have the chocolate frosted with the hot sauce on it.
That's a bad idea.
But so be it. Anyway, I feel like we could talk food forever, but
Yeah.
this is a sports podcast.
We're getting
all.
into Ben's Taste of Texoma territory here.
Food and sports go hand in hand, though.
This is true.
I mean, those commercials, the Grubhub ones that they were doing for a while with Matthew McConaughey, like describing like they've capitalized the market, man. It's all, you know, they're all over it. And like, hey Jerry, what are you eating? Rice. Yeah, I mean it's good commercials.
Hey, when I shot football back in the day, when I worked
Oops.
here, when
We
I
need to
worked
do
here
that.
at Channel 3, I may or may not have bartered a couple of T-shirts for food at football games.
Yeah,
That,
Hey,
I might need to steal that. I've never bartered.
Yes,
I usually just say, hey, cheerleaders, can you help me throw these out
because
to
some of the
fans?
best eating is at some of these small football stadiums on Friday nights. I'm not going to lie.
yeah. If they got the right thing, you know, usually City View's got the smoker going out there. It always smells good.
Windthorst.
Some burgers and stuff. This last time, I know that the not this last game 2 weeks ago, man, they had sausages going, doing some sausage wraps. It was great. Carl Pennington brought me one up to the press box.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Thank you, Coach P.
I guess I'm.
And we can't leave out our local Texas Roadhouse.
That's
at
right.
The stadium
Hey,
press
I
box.
never complain.
Or,
Never complain about
or
the
Firehouse
Texas Roadhouse.
Subs, or
Yeah.
they take care of us at our press box here too.
If you're media, you do not take food in a press box for granted.
No.
Because you don't get it everywhere.
correct.
And I'm not going to blame a place for that. You know, we do appreciate the hospitality. And I will say the hospitality can definitely weigh a decision on where you want to go on a Friday night.
Yeah,
It
sure.
absolutely can. But it's not easy everywhere, right? I mean, short-staffed a lot of times. You don't know what's available. But, yeah, no, hospitality, some free food. You know, Iowa Park always does it real well. And, you know, Holiday usually gets you fed. And, you know, different ones get to take care of you.
You know, I'm down on the sideline most of the game. Not, I might come up to the press box at halftime or to get rosters before the game. So that I usually like literally chow something down in record time, 4, 5,
Right,
6
yeah.
minutes, and then get my butt back down to the sideline. So
Yeah, you TV guys, like, but I've seen some of them that would come up. They'd come up real early.
I always came early. Yes.
Yeah, and make sure they could get up there and get it.
Yep.
And eat real, you know, get it eaten, and then be able to get down in time.
and then you
know.
can work it off as you're walking up and down the sideline.
That's right. That's what y'all do. I sit in the press box, get fatter, and usually go for seconds at halftime.
There you go. That sounds honestly so awesome. Chad, this is episode 3 of Inside WFISD Athletics. Do you know any athletes who wear jersey number 3 that stick out?
So in our text thread yesterday, I kind of left you guys with a little bit of Chad
teaser.
Johnson trivia questions.
Yeah.
So one of my all-time, my top 2 favorite athletes of all time, but my first favorite baseball player wore number 3.
Your first favorite baseball player.
Okay.
And MJ may be a little young to think of my age and time frame of players that were around that time, but
I think, Jonathan, you thought it could be one of 2 people?
I went Del Murphy or Alan Trammell, and I think it's Trammell.
it's Dale Murphy.
Oh, 50-50.
So I mean, I still remember. So 1982, we got cable.
Yeah.
I was 7 years old. I was starting to get an interest in baseball.
WGN.
We got cable. TBS.
Oh, TBS.
That was also the
Okay.
year the Braves won the Braves won the division. That was the year Murph's first of 2 back-to-back MVPs.
Okay.
So yes, that was I was a Braves fan before I even knew who the Texas Rangers were.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was Dale Murphy.
Okay.
So-
Man, I was close.
Jonathan, do any 3s stick out to you?
I'm Babe Ruth right
Yeah.
off.
Absolutely.
Right?
Sure.
That's kind of the conversation should begin and end
Yep.
with him. You know, Dwayne Wade.
I share a birthday with Dwayne Wade,
Okay.
January 17th.
There you go. I forever hated by all Mavericks fans because of that. Even though they did get the revenge eventually, but that first NBA Finals for the
I'm not a
Mavericks
conspiracy theorist, but there was some mystery going on in that series.
Man, you couldn't think about guarding Dwayne Wade without being called for a foul. Allen Iverson.
Yeah,
I think that's the one I kind of gravitate to because I remember him in college playing at Georgetown. I think I was a freshman in high school. And I thought he was the coolest thing. I thought he was unbelievable. Me and my friends, we kind of fell in love with him during that in the NCAA tournament that year. And so he really sticks out. I don't know that I necessarily cared for him as a pro and the person, he's not really my kind of personality guy, but you couldn't deny what he could do on the court.
Baseball and basketball, I think, have a lot of threes. I mean, I know mine and MJ's maybe. I know my least favorite baseball player of all time, and I'm going to guess probably high up on MJ's list, A-Rod. Wore number 3 for a long time with the Rangers and with the Mariners before becoming a Yankee. And obviously, he wasn't going to wear it with the Yankees.
Good.
Rafael Palmeiro wore it with the Cubs and then his first couple of years with the Rangers before switching numbers. Stevie Franchise.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. wore it for a few years.
Yeah.
Chad, what about this guy?
Earnhardt, of course. How do I not have Earnhardt on my list?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to
I'm
say
a
it.
NASCAR guy. Yes, Earnhardt, absolutely.
I didn't even go there. There's a Patriot that wore 3.
Stephen Gostowski?
There you go. There you
the
go.
kicker?
I was wondering if MJ might bring him up.
Yes, sir. I mean, in a long line of good Patriot kickers, Adam Vinatieri, Stephen Gostowski, and I mean nowadays Brandon Aubrey is the headliner across the league. But the Patriots had the best kicker in the league for a long time.
You mentioned you showed Earnhardt there. I mean, I'm a big NASCAR guy. I love NASCAR, but let's be honest. There's probably maybe 3 or 4 drivers in the history of NASCAR that you see their number and you're going to know exactly who it is.
He's one of them.
Him. I would say 24 with Jeff Gordon and 43 with Richard Petty would be the 3 that everybody's going to know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, I'm not a NASCAR fan, and I would recognize
they
those
kind of
three.
get into the pop culture conversation.
Did you say Jeff Gordon, 12 too?
24.
24. Sorry, yes, 24. You said
yes.
him though.
Yes.
Gordon was the one, and I'm just not a NASCAR guy. I didn't realize. I know the name Richard Petty. I didn't realize what his car number was, but Gordon, 24. I always liked Jeff Gordon, but I think it's because I'm not a true NASCAR fan, right? That's what they say about it. Like, if you're not a true fan, you probably like Jeff Gordon, but if you were a true fan,
he's the one that kind of, he's the one that kind of brought it to the mainstream. I mean, because he was, Jeff Foxworthy makes a funny joke that people didn't like Jeff Gordon because he enunciated.
Yes, yeah.
Remember Jeff Foxworthy hosted a television show?
Yeah, are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I watched that growing up.
But it's kind of good and bad with a guy like Jeff Gordon because it's NASCAR's evolved to the point that those country boys that don't speak well are never going to get a ride anymore because they're not good in front of the media.
Right.
So
that's true. So you said, are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Yeah.
There's a version of it out. Are you smarter than a celebrity?
No way.
On Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Hosted by Travis Kelce.
I
I actually have seen an episode of that.
Yeah, I've watched a couple episodes. Haven't watched a lot of it, but yeah, it's interesting. It's.
I'll have to check that out.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah. Is Travis Kelce good at hosting it, or?
Yeah, he's funny. He's personable.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets into it.
And he does the podcast with his brother, so
he's got a future in broadcasting somewhere.
Cool.
Not that he needs to work ever again.
I was gonna say I'm not sure he ever wants to work again, or his fiance probably doesn't want him to work ever again either. Anyway, we don't need to go down the Swifty path. But
imagine being a multimillionaire though, and clearly being the second most valuable person in your relationship.
Yeah, it's not close.
not even close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valuable, popularity, all of the above.
Yeah.
No one cares about his Super Bowl ring.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk football. We're jumping right in with the WFISD and the Legacy Leopards. So as you can see on your screen, 1-3 record. They won week 1, their first win in program history, and they've struggled to get back in the win column since. Jonathan, I know you've called a couple Legacy games out at Memorial Stadium. Of course, you are the voice of the WFISD football games, which you can hear on the WFISD YouTube page and also right here on KFDX+. So kind of what's your take on the Leopards here in 2025?
I don't think there's any doubt that they're an improved team. And you can see, I mean, obviously just winning one game is something that they can hang their hat on. It was a privilege to get to call that game, to get to be the voice of that game. As I'm sure Chad felt the same way being the PA guy being the Memorial Stadium voice for that game and getting to announce that first win and just trying to capture that and really put the right words on the moment. I mean, because it shouldn't be underplayed how big a deal that was and who all that meant something to after enduring a winless season in your first year. I mean, to be able to come out with a new coach and win that first game, I thought it was massive. I think they have a group of 4 receivers that I think you could put them up against any group in the district. I think they're that good. But Josiah Carter's really kind of stepped out. I think he's that number 1 guy. Jurian Wiggins, Biscuit, is a pretty good one himself and can make an impact. I think Jaquan Carroll is one to I think he's the one everybody's kind of keeping an eye on. He's got a lot of hype behind him, right? He's a sophomore with an offer from Midwestern State. So that grabs attention. Ben Bernard's a very underrated one, kind of goes under the under the radar for sure. But all
was about a millimeter from having a touchdown the other night.
Should have had the touchdown the other night. I can't believe he. Yeah, I mean, you could hear it, and Corey and I think we both erupted at the same time. Just can't believe he's tackled. But I think those 4 guys really give great targets to Knox Hodges, who's really grown into it. But I mean, you still see the young mistakes, right? I mean,
sure.
I think what I'm in my predictions coming out this week, I think I've written that Legacy's in that mode right now where every great play is preceded and followed by a mistake. It's just where they're at right now, and a lot of that has to do with youth and immaturity. I thought the defense was a lot better last week against Randall. They had some huge plays, but then there were a couple of plays. I mean, there were 2 in a row where they make big plays behind the line of scrimmage, and they're called for unsportsmanlike conduct after both of them.
Not great.
And you just can't, you're compounding your own, you're hurting yourself. You had 2 missed field goals by Canyon Randall, 2 missed field goals that they got to try a second chance at because of a personal foul, leverage off the center, and then a false start. And you take those 2, I mean, you're talking about 6 points right there. The first 2 touchdowns, they had to go less than 25 yards down the field to score them, did Randall. So I thought the defense after that played really well. They just got to clean up these really immature mistakes.
And you talk about that. I know talking to Coach Davis a few times, that's stuff that he really harps on. He tells his kids all the time, we can't – that was something he really stressed in their scrimmages, and that basically saying we can't beat ourselves. We can't have dumb penalties, unsportsmanlike penalties and stuff like that. We've just got to keep our emotions in check and be smart with how we play and not beat ourselves.
Well, they're trying to compete. They're trying to get to where they can just compete, right? They can't be having to fight themselves to do that as well.
Right.
And that's where they're at. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's just this hard truth. That's where they're at right now. It's a change of culture. It's going to take place. They've hired the right guy. I texted Coach Freeman after that first win. I said, heck of a hire. I thought that was the right guy to hire. Another person I texted after that first win, though, I want to make this clear. I texted Lawrence Johnson.
Sure.
And I said, I hope you're taking a lot of joy and understand that you're part of that too.
Right.
Because it is not easy to endure a winless season. And they had so many things go against them that year too. Right. Injuries. I think they took for granted the level of play up that they were coming from, with much of that school coming from Hershey. You were going up 2 divisions, basically. There were some things to learn, right? And he had to be the guy there that took the lumps. And he took every one of them with grace. If you can say anything, he took them with grace. He owned up to them, even on his way out the door. He owned up to them and said, I know that can't be here. There's a higher standard of Wichita Falls. And so I thought he absolutely needed to be credited and hear that this was, he was a part of this.
And let's be honest, your record, at the end of the day, your record speaks for itself. It is what it is. But talent-wise, they were not an 0-10 team last year.
No.
They just like you mentioned it, they were killed with injuries early.
Yeah.
Lost both of their quarterbacks early.
Mm-hmm. Threw a
Knox
freshman
came up
into the
as
fire.
a freshman.
Yes,
I mean, who was playing? I don't know if he was on freshman or JV, but he was not. I guarantee you, Knox Hodges was not expecting to get varsity snaps last year.
No.
and to basically end up being QB1. Basically he was QB1 by the time district started. So and to be clear on this year, that they have got a talented group of kids.
Yes,
and they've got a great coaching staff that is like you said, doing things right and teaching them, how to play, not only how to play strong and well, but to play smart. And win-loss record may not at the end of the year may not be great, but they're like you mentioned it. They're playing a lot of sophomores and juniors, and they're figuring out what it takes to play as a team and to play together. And I'm really excited for what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years with them.
Yeah,
I would say too, if we could start to. Oops, sorry, I have the wrong camera angle up here. If we could start to jump into the district discussion, that'll also kind of transition us into Memorial. But Legacy, opens district this week against Wiley?
Yes,
that's right.
Is that at home or is that on the road?
That's at home.
That's at home. Okay. So are you calling this game, Jonathan?
I am not.
Okay.
The powers that be have kind of asked that I head out to Holiday and cover them against Jim Ned.
I get that.
And so I'm going to pick that one up. I know Corey Hogue will be on the call. I think Chad's searching for that play-by-play guy.
Okay.
Whoever it might be. Dustin Hawley does a great job whenever he's able to fill in. And, Logan Parrish is filled in for us as well and does, brings a level of intelligence, that coaching perspective that's valuable up in a booth too. But yeah, I gotta go. I'm gonna make that trip to Holiday. But it's gonna be tough. I think it's tough. I think if Legacy can improve on what they did a week ago, that then maybe they can keep that competitive for a little bit. But I think Wiley just has too much experience. Program is cooking, is churning really well down there, and. Yeah, I just can't see that being a win for Legacy. Just flat out saying it. I know it's tough to hear maybe on Wfisd podcast.
Yeah, sure.
But I do think the improvements continue to come. I think we're going to see them throughout the district play. And listen, they're going to give. It's not going to surprise me if they give one of these teams that we consider a playoff contender. If they give them a real run and give them a scare later on.
So that's interesting because you texted me yesterday. It sounded like you're doing like some sort of media poll about people's thoughts on this district. What are your thoughts on it? I'll share mine afterwards.
Sure. Yeah, I actually reached out not just to Wichita Falls media. I reached out to some Abilene media, and Lubbock and Amarillo, and I just wanted kind of the knowledge myself. And so I am including those in my weekly predictions blog. I call it a blog. It's just my predictions for every game. Mm-hmm. Something that MJ's actually doing better than me this year so far. I'm
thrilled you admitted that.
Yeah, no, he's got a nice lead on me right now. I made up a game on you this past week.
You did. Yeah, I picked Seymour. It wasn't great.
Anyway, I really wanted to get it. And it was an interesting thing that came out of that because everybody in Wichita Falls picked Lubbock Cooper to be number one in the district, which I did too.
Okay.
But outside of Wichita Falls, most of them picked Memorial to win the district, and Lubbock Cooper second. I have Cooper, Memorial, Paladuro, Wiley in that order. Abilene Cooper, Legacy, Plainview. That's my district order.
Okay.
So that's interesting, and I know we talked about it a little bit, and I know Paladuro's vastly improved. You've got Paladuro ahead of Wiley.
I do. Wiley, I have questions just about what they have skill positions. I know they have a key injury at the receiver position right now that's hurting them a lot. I don't know the status of that guy, if he's coming back or what it will be. But Paladuro's defense is really good. Really good, really talented. I think they got one of the best players in the district at that position, whose name is just escaping my mind, as so many things do these days. But too much, the gray in my beard should tell you why. But they've got a tough loss, I think, on their schedule. But I'm going to take Paladuro third, and then Wiley. I just don't know that Wiley has the skill position kids to keep up with the top three teams, especially if the receiver's out.
But they're a playoff team?
I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, so they're that
and to kind of put a bow a little bit on talking about Legacy a little bit, I think things you look for this year, obviously, you'd love to beat Plainview.
Yeah.
That I think that is, and then you kind of start stair stepping. Okay.
Abilene Cooper, maybe.
Abilene Cooper, and even. Just being in games, like you mentioned, they're improving every week. The record may not show it there, but they're improving every week. And you just hope let these kids, fight, which they are fighting, but being in games late, I think will be a huge step in the right direction for them.
Well, that was the biggest thing that Coach Davis told me after the game. I thought was the one thing I'm going to commend these guys on tonight is that they showed a lot of fight. And he's like, I'm going to go in the locker room right now and tell them that. But they fought tonight, and I'm proud of that. And that's what you saw. They went down 14-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game. And you're almost writing them off. I mean, you were writing them off at that point. It's like, oh, gosh, here we go.
Sure.
Defense kind of bowed their necks after that, though.
Defense played well. And it's there. I mean, you can see it's there.
So you made an interesting point where, like, people outside of Wichita Falls have Memorial, whereas people inside have Cooper winning. Mm-hmm. I'm curious at the other end. It sounds like a lot of the Wichita Falls people have Legacy ahead of Plainview, which is what I have. You said you have that. Is that the thought elsewhere?
No.
Okay.
No. They're most of them are Plainview over Legacy.
Interesting.
In fact, I did have some thinking Plainview could make the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Because Plainview's, they got a 4-year starter at quarterback. They got a kid, Mayberry, I believe is his name, Seth Mayberry, I think that's his name.
And they run a pretty good little option attack as well.
Yeah. So, they usually have one guy kind of out there that can make some plays, one athlete or so. And so, there are people who think that they could get over Legacy and Abilene Cooper and get into the playoffs. And they have to beat one more team to do that.
Sure.
Whether that's Paladuro or Wiley. I don't know. They're going to surprise somebody. I just can't see it. Plainview's going to have to do it to make me believe it. They haven't done it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a very good Plainview team in a long time, and I've covered a lot of Plainview in my career.
Sure.
Being out in West Texas for a while, and when I started at Big Spring, Plainview was in the same district, and so I've seen a lot of Plainview football, and haven't seen a good one in a while. I've seen good Plainview players. I can remember Jamar Wall playing there. He went on to play briefly in the NFL with Dallas Cowboys. They had another guy named Michael Agnew who played college football at Missouri, and he got drafted too. I don't remember much of him in the NFL though, but I've seen them have some NFL level talent, but they've just never come all together.
Sure.
I will
do that.
I will tell you the reason I have Lubbock, and I mentioned this to you. I have Lubbock Cooper winning with more Memorial second, but I also have that being very close.
Yeah.
I think it could
1 point game last year, 45, 44.
I think the one thing that stands out with me with Lubbock Cooper every year is their size.
Yeah.
They always have so much size, and I feel like Memorial lost some of that size they had last year. The one thing that's always going to keep Memorial in games, though, is Joe Castles, Eric Powell, Jamari Dean. It would not yes, on paper, I've got Lubbock Cooper winning that district, but as I've stated many times, it would not at all surprise me. And I hope I'm wrong. It would not surprise me to see Memorial win that district.
I think they can win the district. I think most people I talked to said it's kind of a coin flip situation. They feel like it could go either way for either of them. Maybe it's a bigger deal that game. Some of them said, well, that game's in Wichita Falls, so that's why I go with Memorial. I came back with the argument. I told them, it's like, Cooper's never lost in Wichita Falls.
Right.
They've never lost a game here.
And Wichita Falls won at Lubbock Cooper last year.
Yes.
And typically...
And that was a crazy ending, right? That was up for play of the year.
Correct.
So,
Kenji Johnson makes a toe tap catch in the corner of the end zone.
And typically, and give Lubbock Cooper fans and school credit, typically they travel well.
Yes.
And we're in a district that 3.5 hour drives, typically your visiting crowds are not always the best, but typically Lubbock Cooper travels well. They've got a good, loud band, which I'm a band dad, and I will always tell you that I think bands can make a difference in a close game.
Absolutely.
Especially if they do it right. Shout out to Loy Studer and Michael Walta. But I think they can make a difference in games. So, like you say, I don't think home field advantage is that big of a deal. And just to talk about how even the top of this district could be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last year so Memorial beat Cooper beat Wiley, and Wiley beat Memorial. So, that right there shows you how even the top of this district could very well be. So,
and it's even more important when you put that you want to be in the top two.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to make that trip to El Paso for the first round.
No,
and
thanks.
That's huge. Yes.
Yes. It's a massive deal.
I know our athletic department would much rather schedule a home game than try to budget for a drive out to a trip to El Paso.
I think anybody would. If you ever made that drive to El Paso, it's not. And I've never made it from Wichita Falls. I've made it from Big Spring and Midland, and it's not enjoyable.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a trek. And so making it from Wichita Falls, gosh, I mean, you might as well just get on the plane, see if you can get some cheap tickets or something. But it's a haul. I do think that those two do finish at the top. I also had somebody tell me the reason they went Memorial over Cooper is because Memorial beat Friendship by a better score. Which, I mean, that I can track that. I don't know that you can put a lot of value in that, truthfully, but I can respect that because that's how I pick winners sometimes too.
If that's all you have to go on, I mean, I do that. I'll go look at like opponents. I mean,
common opponents, yeah.
If that's all you have to go on, then
that's it. Yeah,
that's what you go with. But it definitely doesn't always track that way.
No, and I do think it's a matchup thing, and like you said, size. Memorial does not have great size this year. That's very fair. They're very small up front, although they make up with it with a lot of quickness, especially on the defensive line, where you got a guy like Micah James who can get 5 sacks in a game,
right?
Like he did against Friendship, and so they can make up for it in other ways.
And we're seeing Hunter Talley right there. Hunter Talley's another guy. He's not gonna awe you with his size, but man, he's a ball hawk. He's always wherever the ball's at.
Yeah. And the way that they're playing their defense this year too, it really is just giving him free range. He gets to just kind of go out there and play off of his instincts, and not even necessarily has to worry about pass coverage all the time. I mean, he just gets to react to where the ball's going and what the play is, and he's got those kind of instincts where.
Hey, MJ,
he's that guy
can you get your
can
trash bag out of the way of the camera, please?
It was raining. Watch, my hand tries to move it right here, too.
So, but yeah, man, those first 2 games from Memorial were, of course, they played their first 2 games in the rain. A lot of fun for them to do that. I know they're glad that it's dried out the last couple.
Absolutely.
And, you see that guy there and Joe Castles, and those first 2 games were tough for him.
Absolutely. It's tough to throw the ball when it's slick.
It just wasn't there, and you've really seen them come along. I thought what was awesome this past game, beating Andrews 70-20, is that the backup quarterback came in and threw for 3 touchdowns. Cole Burkhead came in and threw for 3 touchdowns. How often do you see it that a team has 7 passing touchdowns split among 2 quarterbacks?
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen it in my career. Have it divided like that.
Yeah.
I know Coach Bendel's very, very comfortable if he has to go to Cole in a situation. Obviously, you want to keep your D1, 6'7" D1 quarterback healthy, but it's good to know that you've got comfort in the kid that's behind him if you have to use him.
Well, if you remember what they did at Ryder for so long, and I think Ponder started it, Gar took it over, and Bendel really continued it. Hadn't done it the last couple of years, but is they always tried to get the backup some playing time, right? Yeah. And people would freak out, man. They would just see it happen, and they were like, oh, gosh, is the starter hurt? What's going on? Is there a quarterback controversy? What's happening? And I remember the first time I saw him do it, I was like, what is going on? Where's the backup? And he's always there trying to get the backup ready.
J-Rod threw a touchdown pass as a holder as a freshman.
Well, it wasn't as a holder.
I thought he was holding on a field goal attempt.
No, it was not holding on. No, he popped up. I think that was a planned call. Maybe it was a holder. It was a 50-yard touchdown.
Yes.
It was a 50-yard touchdown.
Maybe it wasn't maybe the up on a punt or something.
Hit it in stride. He came up because of injuries. It's the only reason they brought him up that one game, and put it on a dime too. Dropped it in perfectly to Jake Edgman.
But you mentioned that. I mean, you mentioned that, like you say, there's always. It seems like there's always been packages for that backup to get them.
Yeah, they want to get them.
Going all the way back to Malcolm Carter and JT. When JT first came along, JT's first year, he was almost like a Cordell Stewart type. You never knew. And I still say to this day, he was more dangerous. He was a great quarterback as a junior and senior. But he was more dangerous as a sophomore because you never knew where he was going to be on the field.
Right. And how many times has that benefited them? Because you think about what they had to have, and really 2 of their better years in Rider history where you had needed Chase London to be ready to fill in for JT, and you needed Malcolm to be ready to fill in for Shavadrik, right? And so that's the benefit here. And now you're getting a guy like Cole Burkhead who can be ready. If the unimaginable happens, knock on wood, you hope it doesn't. You don't hope anybody gets hurt, but this is a crazy game. There's a team in the county right now that just lost 3 of their best players to injury in one game. It is changing the way that they have to outlook their season.
Who's that?
I don't want to. It's Iowa Park, and I don't want to get specific because I hate to just put out names and injuries and stuff like that. But I mean, they are. But I mean, they've got 3 guys that are going to be out this next week, and they're 3 huge guys. There are guys that have gone on social media and said, "Hey, I just played my last game."
That info travels quickly.
It does, but
I don't think you're putting the Hawks at risk.
I know. I'm not trying to rat on them. I just don't want to speculate on the type of injury and stuff. I'm learning a lesson. Let me just put it. I'm learning a lesson.
That's good. Rather be on this side of it than the wrong side of it, right?
So,
I mean, this isn't the NFL. We don't get injury reports.
No.
So to kind of put a bow on football a little bit.
What if I'm not ready to?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. That's all.
I mean, I think a lot of our discussion has kind of answered this question for us. Obviously, you want to finish in the top 2 so you don't have to travel.
Yep.
Do you see Lubbock Cooper? Do we see Lubbock Cooper or Memorial making a run?
I think it's gonna be hard because of the region.
Argyle again or what?
Argyle. I mean, pick your poison.
Melissa in the region.
Argyle, Melissa, Lovejoy. Which Lovejoy I think is a little bit down this year.
Okay.
Lovejoy coached by Todd Dodge.
Yeah, and they're not up to that same standard. But it's just it's such a tough region. It's hard to see. I really can't push anything past the third round. And I think second round is just going to be real trying, as we saw last year with how Memorial went out.
Isn't it crazy how much that has changed? I mean, I remember when Ryder and Old, when they first went to this Division I, Division II stuff, and Ryder and Old High got shifted west.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, it was third round of the playoffs. It seemed like the 4 teams that were in that district were playing each other. I know they did at least twice.
Yep.
I know Ryder and Lubbock Cooper played each other in the region final
4 years in a row.
4 years in a row. So, and then obviously we had that Old High Ryder playoff game. Third round, but also on the other side of that, Lubbock Cooper was playing Canyon Randall at the same time.
Yep.
So that district was the region back then, and it's definitely, like you say, it's definitely changed with some realignments and some schools going up and down. And
with El Paso, really what changed is the El Paso schools, they didn't opt up.
They used to be 2 districts,
and so now they're one district out there, and so that changed it and brought in another Metroplex district, and now it's not even that Fort Worth district that's in there with you. You got these Denton area schools who I think, if you want to really get into looking ahead, who I think Legacy and Memorial are going to be in district with next year. So I think realignment's going to possibly push Legacy and Memorial back into DFW.
I think it'll be interesting to see. I think it'll be interesting to see because you've got, Friendship has opened their second school. Where will they fall size-wise?
Well, and that brings Friendship down itself.
Right. Lubbock Cooper is opening their second school.
Well, they're already open.
Right, but you're right.
They'll come up.
But where will? But they're playing an outlaw schedule this year, aren't they?
No. They've been in district for a couple of years.
Have they? Okay,
yeah,
I thought they just opened.
Lubbock Cooper Liberty.
Yes.
Yeah, Liberty.
Okay, well, my bad. But they're gonna, those are the areas in Lubbock that are continuing to grow. Mm-hmm. Lubbock as a whole, Lubbock city limits is, I don't know if it's getting smaller, but it's definitely not getting any bigger. But those outskirts, Wolfforth, and Lubbock Cooper areas are growing.
And I've heard Lubbock Coronado will come down to Division II as well.
Okay, and then and who knows what happened? These Canyon added that third school, which dropped Randall and Canyon High School down.
I think they all stay the same, but there's just a lot of things in motion, a lot of things to consider, and it does feel like there may now be enough teams for them to put together a district, a 6-team district out there, even if they just pull the Abilene's as well. And I think they pull the Abilene's before they pull Wichita Falls, and Wichita Falls heads east.
I'll tell you why I'm for it and why I'm against it. I'm for it because I think it will make the atmosphere at home games better.
Yeah.
Because shorter travel distances mean we get more fans coming in from those cities. It also means our Legacy and Memorial fans, it's obviously much easier for them to travel to Denton than it is to Lubbock. Why I'm against it is I'm no longer a high school parent. And I had to make those drives, and I don't like it ending.
So you think everybody else should have to make
exactly.
When I first moved,
but I will say I think it will help. I think it will help the level at the stadiums, getting more visiting crowds there.
When I first moved to Wichita Falls and took over the Wfisd beat and shared it with Andy Newberry, but I was the road guy. And I basically should just got an apartment in Saginaw because I was either there at Brewer. It seemed like every weekend. I just was hitting up, that town every day, making that drive every week because of the district. And of course, you throw in Denton, and you had Denton High, and back then even Denton Ryan was still in the district. And so Yeah,
For
I
so many years
enjoyed it.
before the split, those Denton schools, it was those Denton schools in Ryder and Old High.
Yeah, and
sometimes Sherman and
Sherman,
Denison.
But
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. This is the most we're coming up and with snapshot days on Halloween, and that'll answer questions, a lot of questions about where things will wind up. And I think though this is, I don't think, I know this is going to be the most significant realignment for this area since Ryder and Old High went west.
Yeah, so this is where I'm interested. If I'm hearing you right, it's not that Legacy and Memorial are drastically changing numbers, but things around them are changing.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Okay, so if everything out west becomes more
And
consolidated,
it started like he said with El Paso opting so many schools up.
Sure. So if everything out west changes, and if the WFISD goes east, as far as ultimately what that means at the end of the day, it's better competition, right?
Yeah, you're playing. Yes, I think as a whole, you're playing against better competition, and not to put down what you're doing, but I mean, suddenly if you're trading out Lubbock Cooper per se, you're probably trading in Argyle.
Or like Denton Geyer?
Not Denton Geyer, they're higher,
Okay.
and
Denton
Denton
Geyer's
Ryan
a
will be
6A now.
Yeah, Denton Geyer's a 6A. Denton Geyer is, and Denton Ryan is a 5A D1. So I don't think you're
Okay.
worried about those two. Looking at Denton High.
And it's more your suburbs of Denton now.
Yeah,
The Argyles, the
Okay.
Melissas, the
Okay.
Annas.
Yeah.
the-
Doesn't Melissa have a outstanding
Unbelievable.
stadium?
Unbelievable
Put them in the district
stadium.
and we'll go.
Unbelievable. Zach Duncan and I, we made the trip for a Holiday Gunter.
That's what it was
And it
last
was-
year, right?
Yeah, it
Yes.
blows your mind. It blows your mind to
High school stadium.
yes.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, other than obviously we would love a renovation to our stadium, and there's many factors that involve in that. We won't even get into it. But I tell people all the time the biggest problem with our stadium is all these schools building these massive mega high school stadiums. We have a very nice stadium,
We really do.
but it pales into comparison to some of these palaces that these other schools are building.
I love Memorial Stadium for what it is, and it's got a retro feel, I guess you want to say, to it. I think it's very historic too, because the history that's been played there, dating back to 1970, is incredible. I would love an elevator, but I understand why it doesn't happen. Because there's a lot of things that have to be done with ADA compliance to get it there, and I know it's just not very feasible.
Yeah.
The amount of money that it would take is crazy.
Right.
People don't realize that, and I tell you what. WFISD should hope that I win the lottery one day, because if I did, I would donate and I would make it happen, because I've climbed those steps enough times that I feel for anybody. I would never climb those steps again, is the way I would put it. Not until the elevator's put in, and I'll give
And it
you
would
the
be the
money to do
Jonathan
it.
Hull elevator.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
And
the Jonathan Hull elevator to the Nick Golson press box is the way I'd have
And
it.
I tell people all the time that I grew up here. Growing up here, like I have to pinch myself sometimes now. It may not be that special to anybody else, but the fact that I get to work up there now, up in that press box, and that, like I said, because growing up in that stadium, that was Texas Stadium for all I knew. As a young kid, when games weren't as prevalent on television and stuff like that.
Well, I had to, I'm a West Texas boy, and so my first high school football game that I covered in my career was at Ratliff Stadium, home of the Permian Panthers,
Which is a very similar feel to it.
It is, and I'd rather come to Memorial than Ratliff, even though Ratliff does have an elevator. But I walked, and I had to. The first thing I did when I got to that stadium is I walked on the field. I had to. That was just for me. This is hallowed ground. I read Friday Night Lights when I was a kid. I wanted that feel. I got goosebumps walking onto that field, and so it was incredible. It was Big Spring versus Odessa High, and did not go well for my Steers that night. But I got to sit in that press box. For me. It's kind of like what you say, getting to work there. It leaves you in awe to a degree, and I feel that way about Memorial too. And one thing I do say, I really don't try. I try not to complain about the stairs so much, because listen, if you climb those stairs to the press box, it takes.
I tell people to give me 5 minutes when I get up there before they ask me a question.
Well, seriously, it's so bad. But I don't complain, and it is because of Nick Golson that I don't complain. Because Nick Golson was climbing those steps when he had cancer and he did it just weeks before he passed.
Right.
If that dude can do that, what right do I have no right to complain.
Zero.
Right. And if that's our biggest complaint,
Seriously.
I mean, it's an inconvenience, but it's an inconvenience that what 25 of us have to deal with.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You know, so
and it's good for my heart. You know, I'm a big guy with a healthy heart.
Right.
Yes.
And I always tell, like, if my doctor or somebody else asks, it's like, well, I climb the steps of Memorial Stadium about 15 times a year.
And here's the thing too that I've always loved about Memorial Stadium. I mean, find me a half a dozen football stadiums that don't have tracks around them. I mean, obviously I guess a lot of these newer stadiums are getting built now without tracks around them.
Yeah.
But the intimacy, I mean, I'm once again, I know pros and cons. I'm sure coaches probably love the track around the field because it gives them a little bit of a separation. But I mean, you're right on top of the action. I mean, you're right there.
Yeah.
We are 50 minutes into football talk
we've
and
not
haven't talked
talked
about
anything.
anything else. But I'd be remiss if I didn't add, too, the Memorial Mavericks, state ranked for the first time in program history. Dave Campbell's has them as the 10th ranked team in Class 5A Division II. Initial thoughts, just quickly as we close up, guys, on being a state ranked 5A D2 team. It's pretty cool.
I think it's great.
I haven't talked to Coach Bindle about it, but I'm betting he doesn't love it.
Of course not.
Which he's always tried to pump to me that they're underdogs, even when he was at Ryder. Oh, we like being the underdog. We are the underdog. Man, you're almost never the underdog.
Yeah.
Come on.
I went back and looked, and because we try to keep some semblance of archive when it comes to state rankings.
Yeah.
I believe the first WFISD state-ranked football team since Ryder in 2023, like week 4.
Okay, that seems right. Because Memorial didn't get ranked last year.
Nope.
So yeah.
And Hershey started that 2023 season ranked.
Sure.
But Ryder was ranked later in the year. So.
Okay. Yeah, that seems right. I don't know if I had a vote for the top 10 teams in the state, I would not vote for Memorial. That's just me being honest.
Clip it, put it on social media. Everyone's going to be mad.
I know. And listen, I'm not afraid of that.
Me either.
I just would, and it's nothing against them. I just don't know that they're one of the top 10 teams in the state.
Look, they're 4-0, and people are recognizing that. And
then take the recognition.
Yes,
you
exactly.
know, the one thing that those rankings are, it's one person that does those rankings now, because Tepper and Step split those classifications. I think they do try to trade them off year by year. But it's not a pool of votes. It's one person.
Yeah. So,
And I'd prefer a pool.
I think,
They call themselves. It's called the AP poll because Associated Press gifted that to them, but it's not a true AP poll because, no other press is voting on it.
Sure.
So it's
take it for what it's worth.
yes,
at
exactly.
face value.
Exactly.
All right, Jonathan, have you gotten a chance to see much, if any, WFISD volleyball?
Not live. I've watched it. I've watched on the streams. It's hard for me to get loose on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
there's just so much to get in, and man, I'm still got some. We're recording this on a Wednesday. I actually still have some volleyball stuff I need to type up.
Of course,
as we do this, but yeah, I've watched live streams. Man, really impressed. I think that the Memorial has got a chance to win that district. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I think they really should win the district.
Yeah, the Wiley match should be huge, right? But that combination, man, of Ava Grizel and with Addie Renner setting her up, man, they're putting up big numbers every night. Big numbers every night. Legacy, I think, makes playoffs, right? I feel like they're a playoff team. I mean, I know it's a 5-team district, 4 get in, right. But I mean, I feel like they're definitely in that mix.
We talked about this last week with the coaches a little bit. The one thing Legacy struggles with, kind of like with the football team, same with the football team. They're young. They have 3 seniors that get playing time. They're playing a lot of sophomores and juniors. Just having that one person that can help them get out of a bad run, or to not let things snowball. I think that's Memorial kind of has that a little bit with Eva Grissel. Mm-hmm. I think Legacy's kind of missing that right now, but I think a lot of that just comes with some of their youth. And I agree with you. I think Memorial will be fighting for district, and I really think Legacy's got a real shot at making the playoffs this year.
And I think again, we go to it again. Man, it's a tough playoff draw right off the bat.
Right.
I mean, that district you're next to, with the Panhandle district, and you think about, Panhandle volleyball is it's a notch above almost everything it was for a long time. Amarillo High is, that's probably the standard for volleyball programs in the state, at least one of them. And
at the lower levels too, like Canyon, right?
Canyon's always there.
The girls sports as a whole in the Panhandle are insane.
Yeah, for basketball and volleyball, they really, really go off, and cross country too, for that matter. But yeah, I think it's tough the first round, but I do think, you get that 1 seed, you got a real good chance of winning a playoff game. I think it's easier in the second round.
Sure.
And then you can maybe start make some noise, yeah.
So let me just recap last night, because Memorial opened district play at home against the Abilene High Eagles, coached, by the way, by former Old High coach Emily Gravitt. Her daughter Zia is a junior for the Lady Eagles as well. Memorial won in straight sets to get that first district win. As for Legacy, they had a non-district tune-up last night, beating the Electra Lady Tigers in straight sets. Second set was close, but otherwise Legacy handled Electra pretty well, and this Legacy team opens district play Friday at home against Wiley. Okay, gentlemen, as I said, we went very heavy on high school football, so we're going to jump now to some high school tennis. Chad, Legacy and Memorial playing each other with a lot on the line?
Yeah, so they play Tuesday. I believe it's the last district match, and you talked about how tough the Panhandle is with volleyball and basketball. That's kind of where these Abilene schools are with tennis. Legacy and Memorial both have pretty solid tennis programs. In fact, Legacy was ranked earlier this year, but these Abilene schools are on another level. Yeah. So, basically, long story short, they're both 0-2 right now, but they'll be playing each other Tuesday, I believe, with the winner making the playoffs. So
love that.
Yeah,
love that.
And there's no shame. It sounds crazy, but there's no shame in finishing fourth in that district. Because it's a tough district.
Yeah, those Abilene schools. Wiley is always up there.
Yep,
always up there, and Abilene High and Abilene Cooper got some pretty proud traditions there in that as well.
I always tell people, as far as TV coverage of tennis, and Jonathan, you guys might be the same. We cover tennis in the spring when it's individual. We don't do it as much in the fall when it's team. But this tennis season, like Chad said, it's the last district match. People are like, "What do you mean it's the last? Like, football hasn't even started district in some. Tennis starts so early.
Yes,
so they're in district play almost before school starts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's high school tennis. We're going more regionally here, but we're talking about WFISD student athletes. We'll start right here in town at Midwestern State. We talked about the triple option in Tascosa. Well, Midwestern State had its hands full with the triple option last week. Eastern New Mexico, the Greyhounds came to Wichita Falls and pretty much laid it on the Mustangs. Rich Renner and company now 0-3, unfortunately. But couple local guys that I want to talk about and get to here. One of them is Midwestern State's running back, Kenji Johnson, number 4. We're going to hear from him in just a second. But also, Midwestern State's got a kicker who graduated from Ryder High School. His name's Cohen Maroney. So I'm going to show you a clip of Cohen kicking a field goal for the Mustangs here. This was against the Eastern New Mexico team. And here's the thing. He wasn't, or maybe he is now, but he wasn't the number 1 kicker on the depth charts. Joseph Carlson was. I think Carlson has struggled a little bit, so I'm wondering if Cohen Maroney is going to become K1, kicker 1, so to speak. But this was a nice field goal he made out at Memorial Stadium the other week.
What'd you say it was, 40 what?
Oh, geez, I knew you'd ask.
45, I think you said.
Let me
Is
look.
that right? 48?
I don't remember.
Here's what's cool about Cohen. Cohen played receiver, and I believe he was the backup quarterback at Ryder.
I don't remember him kicking.
Didn't kick at all.
No, Kenji kicked.
No, he, I'm friends with his mom on Facebook, just to kind of random things. Well, he went to Tech last year and just on the side just started kind of kicking for fun, and I guess realized he was pretty good at it. And,
Dynamite.
And ended up coming back to MSU and going out and trying out for them and earned a spot on the team. And
44-yard was that field goal.
That's crazy.
So that's
because you said his
cool
name.
For
I was
him.
like. I don't remember that kid ever kicking.
No, he didn't. No. He definitely didn't.
I say he was a receiver, very solid receiver.
Yeah.
I believe he played third base on the baseball team. And like I said, I want to say he was J-Rod's backup for a couple of years, maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But yeah.
So for MSU, because I'm looking at their stats now, I'll put it up here. As you can see at the very bottom down here, he is doing all the kickoffs. Field goals, Joseph Carlson is only 50%. Granted, it's 2 of 4, not a big sample size, but I've seen Carlson miss a couple of kicks, and that's when I was a little surprised when Cullen went in to kick that 44-yarder. And maybe he's got the longer leg, he's trying the longer field goals, I don't know. But he's 1 for 1 from 44 yards.
But you know what? I mean, you make your field goals, and the other one's not making his field goals. What's Carlson's long, a 30?
This year it's 30.
So, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Cohen's their distance guy, but you know, if Carlson's struggling from shorter range, it may be a matter of time before he starts getting some of those roles too. So.
Yeah, who knows? And I mentioned Kenji Johnson. We got a chance to catch up with the former Rider Raider and Memorial Maverick after last Saturday's game. So let's hear from RB1 from from Midwestern States.
It was a special night, family weekend. All my family's in town, coming to watch the game from all different places, family here. And, I had to put on a show for the city. It was hard getting off of injury for the first 3 weeks. So, feeling almost 100%, it's just get back into it, get back into the motions. And I can't let up now.
Pretty cool to see a local Texoma talent getting it done at the college level right here in town as well.
And here's the thing with Kenji. I mean, obviously he's a great football player playing as a true freshman. He could probably play on their soccer field too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
a good soccer player too.
He's a good soccer player, and I thought he was a steal for Midwestern.
I agree.
I think he's a kid that in this day and age, transfer portal is very real. I think he plays at a higher level. I thought he should play at a higher level to begin with.
I agree.
And I expect him to be headed that way at some point.
The knock on him was size, which I never really understood. Yeah. If you get the job done, who cares?
And I like a short, stocky running back myself. They usually have better balance, right? You can't take out their legs as well. I
and
like.
Let's be honest, with the size of these lines, they can hide a little bit.
Yes, yeah. I really think he's kind of the right size. I think he's going to find a spot somewhere, whether it be at a smaller Division I, Tarleton, Abilene Christian type level, or it could be even a little bit bigger than that. A North Texas or something. I think
not that we're looking to run him away from MSU.
No. But I mean, that's
right.
just
Absolutely.
the reality of college football now, right? And those opportunities come, and you got to take it. And not to mention, with those opportunities comes NIL money. And Kenji's got a family,
right?
And I wrote a story about it while he was in high school and having a daughter and how he is the way he stepped up as a high school kid with a job and everything else while playing 2 sports, having good grades. It's incredible what he did. I have amazing admiration for
high
that
school
kid.
And playing sports in high school is hard enough.
Yes,
just for your normal average.
Yeah.
Everyday high school kid, but like you say, mentioning already having a family.
Not that he didn't have family support. He absolutely had family support, but he didn't just sit back and rely on that, man. He took care of his kid. He took care of his responsibility.
Absolutely. How about another guy who's got a family? Not a child, but he does have a wife, and he's playing college football at the Division I level, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and former Rider Raider Jacob Rodriguez. That's his head coach, Joey McGuire, of course, and the Red Raiders played Utah this weekend, as you're watching on your screen. J-Rod with a beautiful one-handed interception late in the fourth quarter. I guess helping put the exclamation mark, so to speak, on this Red Raider victory. Jonathan, have you been able to follow J-Rod in Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Getting some hair like his wife right there.
She's in this video clip. She's coming up.
Right now he is actually graded. It's his mom right next to her, but he's actually graded as the best linebacker according to Pro Football Focus in the country for the entire season.
Wow.
And that's the kind of year he's having now because of the position he plays. Like he's never going to be like I don't think he's not going to be like a first round pick or anything. This kid's going to the NFL. I think he's a 3rd round pick. And I say that I called myself the untrained eye because I really am into draft coverage and used to write about it a ton. I don't have time for it anymore, being the one man staff that I have been for a while, but. I think he's absolutely at least a 3rd round pick. I could see him sneaking into the 2nd. What he's done, and that game was, any scout that watches film of that game, it's going to be hard to find a mistake. That peanut punch on the ball to knock the ball loose, it was perfect. It was perfectly executed. You have an unquestioned leader, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that game and you look at it late, and they're showing the sideline, and it's him. He's the one. He's going to each guy, talking them up, to
And that's
hyping
not new
them up.
for him. I mean,
No,
that was.
no.
I mean, WFISD the last few years was blessed with, in my opinion, two of the best intangible guys with JT Barrett and Jacob Rodriguez. I mean, just off the charts leaderships and
Yeah, he's and people ask me. I actually got asked from Amarillo, Lance Lannert, legendary sports writer up in Amarillo, now does a daily radio talk show, and he asked me, he's like, "Were you surprised that J. Rod is as good as he is at linebacker?" I said, "No. He didn't play a lot of defense in high school, but when he did, something special usually happened."
he didn't play a lot of defense in high school until they got to playoff games
Yeah.
when it really, because that was back there like we talked about when the region wasn't as great.
Right.
So when it mattered,
He was out there.
he was out there on defense.
And usually something great happened. Truthfully, I don't know that I've ever seen a more instinctual defensive player. There was a time, this is a scrimmage, but it was a scrimmage against Decatur, and he pops in at safety. And I think he knew where the quarterback was throwing the ball before the quarterback knew where he's throwing the ball. I mean, and he jumped it, picked it, 6 points, took it back.
So the best play I ever saw J-Rod, I mean, all the great things J-Rod did as a quarterback at Rider. I don't have the Zach Duncan or Ben Coker memory where I can't tell you exactly what the score was in the game or what time it was in the game, which Ben can probably throw you a Dropbox file of the video if he was
Yes,
there.
he could.
But late in the fourth quarter, MSU Riders leading against Lubbock Cooper. It was the COVID year when we were delayed.
Right.
So New Year's Day in Amarillo, fourth down late. Lubbock Cooper's trying to get a first down or it's over basically. I want to say it's like 4th and 1. The hit J-Rod made at the line to stop that fourth down play was, I mean, I wish I could describe it, but all the great things that J-Rod did as a quarterback at Rider High School, that is, I think, the best play I ever saw him make.
He was incredible as a defensive player. He truly was. And
So
it's nuts to think about how good he could have been if he just dedicated himself even to that position in high school. I mean, I think we would have been talking about. I mean, he was already a 4-star recruit, and I hate to throw away the 5-star stuff, but I mean, this is a kid that if he were playing linebacker full time in high school, who would have received the highest of offers, I think, from every massive Division I program.
And you talked a lot. You talked about his draft stock a little bit. I think by most accounts going into this year or even last year, most people saw him as probably a third-day pick.
Yeah, 5th or 6th round.
Now he's already 4 weeks into the season, 3 weeks into the season. People are already seeing him as a second-day pick, and there's no shame. First of all, there's no shame in being drafted. Period.
No.
But second-day pick, you're talking about if he's a second or third-round pick. I mean, I'm thinking of an undersized linebacker from Texas Tech, Zach Thomas, already. Another guy, Dat Wynn. I mean, being an undersized linebacker.
And I don't know
that
that
just
he's,
hurts your draft stock. It doesn't hurt your ability to
he's
play
not
in the
as
NFL.
he's not as undersized as those two guys because J-Rod's 6'1" or so, 230.
But he's not that 6'3", 6'4".
No, he's not that guy. He's an off-ball linebacker, which is why there's not a lot of value in the NFL on off-ball. Those guys don't get taken with first-round picks unless they're just unbelievable athletes that they think they may be able to hybrid to a safety or something else as well. No, he's an off-ball linebacker who's in third round usually is kind of where those guys top out. You might see some sneak into the second round.
And I tell you what's going to help his draft stock is I don't know what all's in this Wonderlic test and all this kind of stuff, but I guarantee you J-Rod is going to ace the Wonderlic test.
He's gonna test well. He's gonna interview well. And you just know you're getting a guy that's in the locker room that people listen. He talks and people listen. And you saw it his entire high school career. When he was a sophomore, when he spoke, the seniors listened. And it wasn't just football; it was basketball.
Right.
I mean, there were times I can remember.
That COVID year, he was going to play baseball, and Jeremy Crouch was excited. Not that.
Just have him out there.
He didn't know what he would have as a baseball player, but just to have him in the dugout, was.
Well, I can remember his senior year. Like Ryder had a rough basketball game, didn't play up to potential, and Cliff McGuire was still the coach, and McGuire was going to the locker room to talk to him. And he didn't have to. J-Rod had just handled it, and it was done.
So
Chad.
2 more quick real things on him. if you didn't get a chance to see the pregame story on J-Rod and his wife, Emma, Emma Kurt, daughter of former Superintendent Mike Kurt, her and her twin sister went to Old High. Emma graduated from the Army Academy. It's not the Army Academy. West Point. She graduated from West Point. Yeah. She is now a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and her sister's an Air Force pilot, graduated from Air Force Academy. But she's a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and they did a great job. You know, anytime you hear the name Tom Rinaldi reports, it's going to be a great story. And it was a great story. So if you get a chance, go to the WFISD Facebook page or even Texoma's homepage and take a look at that story. They did a great job with that story, and what a great young couple they are. It was just a great story. And also, not football related, but the stash game.
Yeah. The stash game is strong, huh?
Chad, I am not Ben Coker. I am not Zach Duncan. I am MJ Baird. But is this what you were talking about? Against
No, he was playing
son
defense.
Of a gun. This is a great play, too, though.
That's the same game.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the go-ahead touchdown.
Okay.
And I want to say that was on 4th down, or he had just converted a 4th down.
So do you think is it after this or is it before this?
It would have been late. I think it was before that. Or no, I'm sorry. I think it was after that, because I want to say Ryder got the ball back and ran the clock out after that.
That's kind of what it looks like here.
And I could be wrong. I don't. I mean, it's been a few
shower.
years.
No, I went back into our arc. There's no guarantee we have the play.
Right.
But I figured I would try to find it, and I am not as good as I thought I was.
It's been a few years, and maybe it was earlier in the game. I don't remember. I mean, I remember it was a big play, a big moment in the game.
Yeah.
But like you say right there, I want to say that run was a 4th down run. I mean, when J-Rod was playing quarterback at Ryder, you always thought Ryder had a chance to win the game. It didn't matter what the score was. Yeah. I mean, it was
4th and 1 in the red zone, just over 7 minutes to play.
Okay.
Caps an 84-yard, 12-play drive to get an 8-point lead.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see the 4th down stop, but there's no guarantee.
And it may not have been that. I mean, that interception may have been what capped it, and it may have been a little bit earlier in the game.
Anyway. One more WFISD Texoma.
It was a great week for WFISD.
Who's getting it done at the next level. She was an Olympian last year, and this year at the World, or 2 years ago. Well, I guess with the years it was different. Anyway, Talia Brooks, former Ryder Lady Raider, Arkansas Razorback, now representing Team USA. She was on Peacock this past week, competing at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo in the heptathlon. That is 7 events across 2 days. And ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at your bronze medalist. Jonathan, did you get to see this?
Yeah, I saw some of it. I didn't see the last race, but yeah, to go from the Olympics to this, and which this is her second bronze medal of the world bronze of the year too, because she got bronze at the World Indoors as well.
Correct.
And yeah, just really a phenomenal. I love the drama though after the. After this 800,
because for the times
they had no idea. They didn't know which one of them had got it. Yes.
Yeah, so she tied for a bronze. So at one point either way, and
yeah. I mean, a millisecond either way.
Yeah. Wild.
It's crazy to think of how it could have gone. But yeah, it's an exciting time. You got to admire, just what she's done, the dedication. I mean, to think about just in such a short period of time that you've gone from being 11th in the world to being 3rd in the world.
Right. And she was 10th in the world coming into the World Championships.
Yeah, and she had to perform at the high stakes. And that's, and that's tough. And I think that's something that she's learned through her profession.
Yes.
I mean, it just shows that it doesn't come right away, even for elite athletes like her, because I don't think there's any doubt that she's an elite athlete. But even in the United States competitions, some of those were hard. You often saw that she couldn't finish them. And it was injuries, things like that. But now here she is, and she's fighting through and getting better and getting stronger, and I'm sure fighting through injuries and little pains and uncomfortable. You're doing 7 different things over 2 days. I mean, it's grueling, right?
Right. And just a quick little rundown. So the 2020 Olympics, which got delayed to the 21 Olympics, that's when she got overcome with the heat.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to finish the U.S. Olympic trials.
Yeah.
And then she made the Olympic team, although, correct me if I'm wrong, MJ, I don't think her numbers were the quote-unquote Olympic standard, but she finished second or third, whatever it was in the U.S. trials.
Yeah.
Ended up making the Olympic team based
Correct.
on
Ranking.
how the rest of the rankings
yes.
worked. Yes. But going into this, I mean, I want to say the total points were the most she's ever scored.
Yeah.
She at the U.S. trials, she met the Olympic standard.
Correct.
This was the most points she ever scored, and not only that, so the heptathlon is over 2 days. The first day she didn't do as well as I think she would tell you she wished she would have done on the high jump.
Yep. Her better events, quote unquote better events,
And I don't
are day
remember.
one.
And I don't remember what the other event was that she struggled a little bit with. She won. I want to say she won the
100 hurdles.
100
Usually wins the
hurdles.
usually really good in the
but
long.
But then going into that second day with not doing as well as she would have done on the high jump, she really had to kind of force her way in there, and she had a personal best, I think, on every single event
On day two.
On day two, none of it, like
Correct.
MJ mentioned, the javelin, the 800, which aren't her strengths.
No.
She PR'd.
But she PR'd at every single event that second day.
And you could hear it when she got to speak to the media afterwards. I got that clip for you. Let's hear from the former Rider Lady Raider after winning a bronze medal.
Oh my goodness, I feel like it took like 30 seconds for it to come up on the board, but once it came up, I was just proud. I mean, it's been a rough journey for me, and going into day two, I just told myself I was going to fight back. Like, I was still in the mix. I told people, like, I'm a great long jumper. I need to come out and put something big in the first event, and I did that, and I think it just set me up for a good day.
Outstanding.
And there's another sound clip that I heard that I actually stole from her dad.
Okay.
On if you go to the Wfisd Athletics Facebook page, where she talks about coming from Wichita Falls. She is very, very proud to represent Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that sticks out to me is, she's very much about, don't think just because you're from small Wichita Falls, Texas, that you can't be here. I mean, and look at the rundown we've had just of players today that are going on to the next level and doing things. JT Barrett, I know we've talked about him a little bit. He's coaching in Chicago, the quarterback's coach. They had a big win against the Cowboys. But she is very proud to be there. And shout out to her dad, Robert Brooks, who's on our city council. But, the things he's worked with athletes in this city for a long time. And to see him, I know what being a dad is like and how much pride I have in my kids. I'm sure you're seeing that now with your kid. Anything your kids do, and just to see him beaming with pride and to see the things he posts on Facebook, man, kudos to that entire family.
I wrote a story whenever Mercedes was a senior, and it was right around Christmas. And I remember the story so much because I really liked the headline. And the headline was, Brooks' family leaves indelible mark on Ryder. And I would think I was just really impressed that I used the word indelible. But, it's true. And what they did for that Ryder program, you think about. And Jasmine only had, a year there. I think Talia only had a couple of years there. Mercedes was the only one that went there every year, high school. And, Talia was an incredible basketball player, too.
Yes.
And had a chance to play at the next level if it wasn't for the injury she suffered her senior year in high school. And of course, Mercedes eventually played at LSU, played basketball at LSU. So, just the athleticism in that family. And then, they had two younger siblings as well, and Robert and Robin, who had their own successes on the track and football field.
And Scooby, the dad, was a great football player at Ryder.
Scooby was a real good football player, he's trained a lot of kids. And I've always told people, I was like, listen, if you got a kid that's in track, I think you should send them to him. Like, if you want to get better, I think the proof's in the pudding, right?
Right.
You see what he's done with kids, and a lot of times, he just wants to work with kids. He loves track. And we know what kind of ego the man has, but he can
Proof's
back
in
it
the
up.
pudding,
The proof's
though,
there,
yeah.
like I said, and he brings out the best. I feel like in the athletes that come and work with him, and so that family and getting to watch them. I saw Mercedes play and compete more than any other. And what she was as a basketball player was a fun time in Ryder history, back-to-back regional tournaments. And, man, only Canyon kept them from winning a state title 2 years in a row, which Canyon's done that to a lot of teams. But, incredible family and what they've meant to Wichita Falls sports.
It's going to be
It's
fun.
indelible.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see the lead up the next couple of years because obviously the next Olympics are in L.A.
Yeah.
2028.
With the U.S. in that sport, I know they said so. Anna Hall won the gold medal.
Yep.
There was a time when the U.S. owned the heptathlon back in the Jackie Joyner-Kersey days. Well, I didn't actually realize this. Anna Hall was the first gold medalist since Jackie Joyner-Kersey 32 years ago.
Yeah.
But to have her and Talia, hopefully they stay healthy the next couple of years. Yeah. Not that Talia's old by any means, because she is not. I mean, she's 30 years old. Not that she's old by any means, but she's starting to get up there in those track athlete years. So I'm excited to see what the next couple of years hold for her, and excited to see what she can hopefully do.
That's what people don't get about Olympics, right? For a lot of these sports, for a lot of athletes, they get one chance at those. Right. If you get a chance at two, you're in pretty rarefied air. Right. For a lot of those sports. So
Anyway, we are way over. I'm going to get in so much trouble from our folks who have to put this on the KFDX Plus app. We're fine on YouTube, but the KFDX Plus app is supposed to have time constraints to it. And I've just let us go way through them.
It's great programming, though.
It is honestly, it is outstanding programming. Don't you want to listen to?
I'm long-winded. I'm sorry. Anytime I have come in this studio, and I really, it's not many, but I came in here a couple times for Ruthie, and she always had to edit me so much. Because I talk too much. I'm long-winded. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing, Jonathan. It's all good stuff.
I appreciate it.
It's so much local experience and being around all these teams that it's valuable stuff. So that being said, we can't invite you on our podcast and not allow you to plug what's going on with you on Friday nights at 11 o'clock, because there's a new deal going on Facebook that I've watched a couple weeks of now. You've only had 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
but
right.
It's growing. It's getting better. So let the people know at home, what are you and the folks doing Friday nights at 11?
This camera. So it started a thing with the buddies Zach Duncan and Nolan Clark of 940 Game Day, and we're broadcasting through the 940 Game Day Facebook page. It's a live stream, starts at 11 o'clock on Friday night. So after all the game action is done, it's called Falls Friday Night. And we're just recapping, man. We're recapping all the night's action of the games. I think what makes our stream unique is we're getting coaches. We're getting coaches to come on after the game and talk about the game, chat it up with them a little bit. This past Friday, we had a holiday coach, Kyle Atwood, Henrietta coach, Jay Jones, and I'm forgetting who my third one was, but and that's bad because it was a spur of the moment one that I got late. Oh man, I'm blanking. But anyway, we're trying to get 3 a night to get on and join us. And I thought it's gone really, really well. First night we had Coach Blassingame from Petrolia. Coach Bendel has joined us.
Coach Carney from Munster.
Coach Carney from Munster. We're kind of broadening out a little bit with the area, not just kind of that Falls area. We're calling it Falls Friday Night just because it's kind of catchy. But we do go live there on that. And thanks for showing that 940 Game Day. Nolan will appreciate that.
Of course.
But it's been a lot of fun. I've always loved radio / podcasting. Really kind of for a long time in my career, my media career, I had more radio experience than I actually even did writing experience. And it's something I've always really enjoyed. I probably would have preferred to gone into. There's just not as many opportunities. And, I've been good enough of a writer to make a career out of that. So getting back to where I was doing a podcast, before COVID and they shrunk the TRN, down to a one-man staff, I had a regular podcast, and that I thought was a very good in production value. It wasn't a live stream or anything, but live streams weren't necessarily the common thread back then.
Sure.
Shows you how long ago it was. But I'd bought all of my equipment and taken care of that. But I'm excited to get back into it. It's been fun. Macaulay Landscapes is one of my sponsors too. So
Love it.
We share a sponsor there.
Love it.
Arrowhead Roofing, I'll mention them here too. Give him a free plug. Rance Hogue runs that company. Does a great job. Been 25 plus years here. He's a sponsor as well. So tune in. I think it's a great thing. Like I said, we get coaches every week. I have it nailed down. My coach host this week. I can tell you who I want. Maybe they'll see this and feel the pressure. I'm coming for you, Chris Tackett, Winthorst. Coming for you, and Clay McChristian out of Graham, coming for you. I want you 2 guys on the podcast this week. I'll try to leave that third spot open just to see what happens. Tyler Price from Bowie. That was my third guest this past week.
Big win,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Tyler's a great guy.
Great guy and scored 81 points on a game. So how do I not have him on?
Right.
But in fact, I think he just scored again just right now. I'm pretty sure
Love it.
They put it back up. But anyway, thanks for letting me plug that.
Of course.
It's been a lot of fun for I think for all 3 of us. We've really enjoyed it. And we get home from a game and we get ready for it.
Yeah. And some people might still be driving home, pull up Facebook while you're in the
That's right.
car, turn it on the Bluetooth and listen. You don't necessarily have to watch it because, as you
No,
mentioned, it's more
yeah.
of podcast form, right? Like there
Yes.
are some videos you guys are pulling up when you have them.
Yes.
But it's a listen. It can be something you do. You don't have to stare at your phone.
Yeah.
What a great Friday night. Listen to these guys at 11, tune over at 11:30 when
That's
you
right,
guys
yeah.
are starting your show back up right here on the KFDX Plus app. So,
We'll have to see how many, because I try to I'd like to wrap by 11:30 and get to you guys.
That's
it's
hard.
tough.
That's hard.
It's tough, right? So
you mean like our hour-long podcast?
Yes, exactly. And so, like, I think I kept it to 45 minutes this last time.
That's
and
impressive.
That's kind of where I'd like to get it at 45. But yeah, no, I think we're a good trio, especially with Zach. Has so much knowledge in the area.
Zach Duncan and Ben Coker are walking
just-
Rolodexes of
They
high
really
school
are.
football.
They really are. I can't remember games that I covered last week.
It's like I can remember things that happened in games, but I mean,
Yeah.
for all I know, that J-Rod play might have been in the first quarter. I mean,
I bring up like I come across stories all this. Like, I wrote
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What?
It's indelible, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I just cannot remember. And
I was
and
talking to
Zach's
Zach
like,
one time about the year Seymour played for a state championship. It's like, I'm pretty sure this happened, but I don't remember where. He's like, oh, that was in the first quarter, about 3 minutes to go.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes, yeah. He remembers every single game, and like other guys are like that. If you talk to Mark Bendel about his playing days, like Mark Bendel remembers every play of his last like Rider Old High game. It's like how do you do? I can't remember just certain. I just don't. And so and Nolan Clark's really brought in a lot of good young energy. The guys. I'll say it. I've kind of taken him under my wing a little bit. He's eager and really gotten out there, and the audience that he's grown on Facebook, I think that just shows how much passion that he has about high school football. Because man, they flock to him. They come to him. He does a great job of graphics and telling. I feel like he really introduced a new media form, sports media form in Wichita Falls, with the way that he's doing things on 9-4 game day with the graphics and telling the stories through that way. And I was telling the best compliment I can give him is he got me off my butt to work harder. When he started up, I was like, who the heck is this guy?
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the gosh, I'm gonna have to start going to games again. I mean, it was similar to like that. Like, because
Yeah.
I kind of had fallen into the routine a little bit and comfortable. And he really
right.
did. He kind of shot a jolt of energy into it, and I've gotten to know him. He's great. He does it for the right reasons. He's really in about hyping kids and doing it that way. So anyway, support that. Love what you guys do. Always have.
Thank you.
And I need to get on YouTube and get back to watching the free for all too.
Yes, you do.
And keeping up with that tall gentleman. So
That tall, bald gentleman. Yes, and
right.
if for whatever reason your YouTube isn't working, go ahead and download KFDX Plus on your smart TV. You
There
can
you
watch
go,
it there
yeah.
as well. Okay, Fridays 11 o'clock. Tune in, Jonathan
That's it.
and Zach and what is it? 940
No.
Game Day Facebook page.
Yes. You'll be
Okay.
stream on the 940
Strictly-
Game Day. So that's right now. We're probably going to expand that. I think we're going to set up a YouTube here pretty quick
Good.
and get it going on there too.
That's ideal. Absolutely. More options you have is great. And then, as Chad was saying, we're bringing back our modified version of KFDX Friday Night Football here on the KFDX Plus app. Fridays 11:30. We can catch highlights, scores, and post-game reactions, as well as some analysis from Mr. Toby McDuff, myself, Ben Coker, Parker Holland-Donor, our other sports reporter here at Channel 3. We are so far over our time limit. Let me thank our sponsor, Macaulay Landscapes, for sponsoring us here on Inside WFISD Athletics. Do us a favor, follow us on Facebook. Chad would really appreciate that. WFISD Athletics on Facebook. You on X as well, Chad?
not as much.
Okay.
I mean, I try. I keep it active and we keep going.
Yeah, so follow it. Do it.
But
You
it's
won't.
yes, we don't get as much interaction on there, so I'm not
X
as
is falling
consistent
off,
on there as I
right?
should be.
Yeah, X is just kind of falling.
It's different. I think
I
it's
still
a different
post.
space.
I still post there because there's still a lot of coaches there.
Yes, definitely coaches and athletes putting out their film and all that
right,
good
right.
stuff. Also do us a favor. WFISD on YouTube is where you can subscribe and get auto alerts when a new episode of this podcast drops. Give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating if you want to comment on the post. That helps reach and visibility as well. Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
Chad, until next week. We'll
Yes,
see you
sir.
next time here on Inside WFISD Athletics.